Welcome back to the predicted 23 coming up against Melbourne this week. My name is Ari. Little under the weather this week, so excuse the raspy voice, but let's just get straight into it. Obviously, a disappointing game against the Nepo babies. I mean Gold Coast. Just kidding, could not care less about that. Here's the team. Alix Tauru in, Hugo Garcia in, Liam Henry in, coming out, Liam O'Connell, Darcy Wilson, Max Hall. Let's talk about it. Talk about the ins first. Alix Tauru, obviously the big one. I guess the contention around this will be, is he ready or not? He is available after being suspended. Before he got suspended, he was playing some good footy down at Sandy, so I'm ready for him to just come straight in, honestly. I think he's good to go. He's been training well, everything, I think Saints fans, and definitely my patience is just like worn thin. It's like, let's get him out there. He's ready to go. If there's a serious reason why he can't play, he won't, but as long as he is, get him in there. So yeah, that's that. Hugo Garcia deserves to have his spot back. Had a huge game in the VFL. 27 touches, 10 tackles, 9 clearances, 6 inside 50s and a goal. Played really well. So I want to see our young talent, if they're performing at Sandy, they should be rewarded. So Hugo Garcia to come back in this week. Liam Henry, this is an interesting one. I've picked him a couple times. He hasn't got that spot back yet, but in the VFL report, they said it looks like he was finally regaining some of his form. And I just think time to give him another chance. Like, I don't know what's been going on with him, if it's his fitness, his form, maybe an attitude thing behind the scenes we don't know about. I really don't know. But it feels like Liam Henry at his best is in our 23. So yeah, that's that. He had 17 touches, 5 clearances, 4 inside 50s. Like, a decent game, being picked as an emergency. I think it's time to give him a go, especially while we're losing. There's a few players that are probably out of form. And yeah, I just think time to give him a go. So in saying that, we are losing, and I think there are some players that should come out. Darcy Wilson, and this is not like, Darcy Wilson has been fantastic for us. I think he was in the top couple in the Rising Star last year. He's a great player, the same way Philippou is. But what happened when Philippou had, a string of bad performances and was out of form last year? He went down to Sandy, worked on his craft, came back and was good for it. So I think Darcy Wilson, it's probably a similar conversation. They spoke to him about it during the week and before the Gold Coast game. And he himself said, he was happy to do that. They backed him in. It didn't work out. He got subbed out. I think it's time for a spell. But I have absolutely no doubt he's going to be a great player for us in the future, and he'll earn his spot back pretty soon anyway. Liam O'Connell, I think he's one of those players where he's just good depth for us. If we need him, he comes in. But I think with the Flying Viking potentially making a debut, he's just going to have to be the one that makes room. I like what he brings to the side, but I think... I don't think our best 23 should ever have him in it. In saying that, he's definitely in like our best 30. I'm more than happy for him to be that and come and play when we need the depth. So shout out to him. And that may sound like an insult, but I promise you it's not. For a Category B rookie, didn't really grow up playing footy. I think he's making a really good career out for himself. He could have easily just, never got a sniff of AFL and been delisted, but I think he'll certainly keep his spot on the list and play some good AFL footy in the next few years. So I'm not hating on him whatsoever. Next one, Max Hall. I think this is just, time to give Henry a go and they can battle for this spot. Hall's been out of form. He does some really nice things. Similar story to O'Connell. I rate him a bit higher than O'Connell, but he's great for us. He could be a best 23 player for us. He's not yet, but I think he's played every game this year. He's been really good, but I reckon as we're losing, he's out of form, he's unlucky, and he's going to have to make way. So let's talk about who is in contention that I haven't picked. Jack Carroll is the big one. If you don't already know, Sandy had a draw on the weekend thanks to Jack Carroll. He had a shot after the siren to draw it outside 50 and he made it. So good on him. It was great scenes to watch. He also had 28 touches, 8 tackles, 6 clearances and 2 goals. So do not be surprised if he makes his debut for St Kilda this week. I just don't think there's quite room for him yet. I prefer to see the 3 that I listed come in before him. If he got named, though, I definitely wouldn't be mad. I'd be totally fine with that. He's certainly in contention. Max Heath is the other one. I almost thought he was going to debut last week when it was getting closer and closer to Thursday night. Didn't come to be, but he did. take Harry Boyd's spot in the emergencies, which I did predict last week, which I'm very happy to see. Again, wouldn't be surprised for him to take a spot. He had 18 touches, 4 contested marks, 7 tackles, and a goal in the VFL. He's playing really good footy down there. I think he deserves to debut at some stage. I don't think this is the week for it. That's partly because Kilda's come into the side and he's going to keep the spot. I'll talk about him in a second. But he is on the precipice of making a debut. So keep plugging away, and it'll certainly come to fruition soon, I hope. Dan Butler is the other one. 15 touches, 10 tackles, 3 tackles inside 50, and a goal. For him, a good performance. In the VFL report, it said he played well, and he even went on ball in the last few moments of the game and made an impact, helped Sandy secure the draw. So he's another one. Like, if they don't opt to put Henry in, I could easily see them opt to put Butler in for Hall. It's just one of those ones. I think, personally, I'd prefer to see Henry in there. But we'll see what they think at selection. Dan Butler would not be surprised to see him in this week. And as well, Stocker and McRae not going to play this week. Obviously, we're playing Melbourne this week. Then we've got the bye. And then who's after the bye? I think the Bulldogs. So I think they'll both be available for that. I was going to say McRae, the grudge match against the Bulldogs, but we already played them and got absolutely rolled. So let's hope that doesn't happen this next time around. Holding their spots, I think anyone who I haven't listed as dropped, like everyone was okay on the weekend. I wasn't on the podcast this week, but my general thoughts on the game was that we were pretty good without being, like, we certainly weren't great. We dominated the third quarter, didn't take any of those chances. Certainly could have played better, but it wasn't our worst game by far. That game was there for us to be won. We didn't take it, but I don't think it was one of those games where you start pointing fingers and saying, you were terrible. It wasn't anything like that. The game was there to be won. We didn't, but anyway, so holding their spots. Toby Travalia, I just think you keep playing him. He wasn't amazing, but he did some nice things. Also had some mistakes that you'd expect from a first-year player, but I think he certainly holds his spot, and I'd be happy to see him do so. Higgins, obviously you're not dropping him. I just want to say, he had a down game. His first one for the year. He's been a really inconsistent player for us in the past. This year, we're 11 rounds in, and that was his first bad game, I would say. So, good on him. If he continues with that strike rate, all Australian, he'll be looking at it. So hopefully he gets back into form this week. Brad Hill's obviously been a huge topic. He had 6 clangers last week, but I think it was only had the 1 this week. Efficiency was a little bit improved. Didn't give any frees away. He's still not playing amazing, but if we don't drop him after the 2 previous weeks he had, definitely not dropping him this week, and I don't think we should anyway. And Isaac Killer, I've been hard on him. I've dropped him in many teams. He's obviously been in and out of the side, but he was really good on the weekend. He did some nice things for us. I think he could find himself a role in the backline, which it's to be noted. He's played a lot of footy in the VFL in the backline, so bringing him in as a forward is sort of throwing him in the deep end. Something we all probably should have been talking about when he was having those struggles. I know some people were talking about that, my grandpa included, but he's really good, and he had a great game, best game of his short career for sure, and he'll hold that spot for sure. It also gives us the option to swing Hammer forward. I'm happy with that. I'm pleasantly surprised. Good on him. Let's read out the team before we wrap up. From the full back line, Isaac Killer, Anthony Caminiti, Jimmy Webster. Halfback, Nasai Wangani Malira, Callum Wilkie, Jack Sinclair. On the wings, Toby Travalia and Bradley Hill. Half forward line, Liam Henry, Mason Wood, Mitch Owens. On the full forward line, Hugo Garcia, Cooper Sharman, and Jack Higgins. In the midfield, we've got Mateus Philippou, Hunter Clark, and Jack Steele. In the ruck, Rowan Marshall, obviously. On the bench, Alix Tauru, hopefully debuting. Hugh Boxall, promoted from the sub. I'd love to see that. Should have mentioned that earlier. Ryan Burns, Winhager, also on the bench. And then as the sub, I think Zach Jones, like I said last week, he played okay, but I love him in the sub role. And I think we should be getting full games into Boxall. Emergencies, Max Heath, Max Hall, and Angus Hasty. So that's the predicted 23 for this week. Obviously, it's been a disappointing last month or so. 4-7. It's not where we want to be. We're not playing anywhere near to our capabilities. We're losing games that we should be winning, and very disappointing. But stick with it, Saners. Let's see how the rest of this year goes. I know the crowd numbers, everything like that, super disappointing. Let's show up. Let's support the boys, because it's in these moments where where they need the support the most. So go the Saners. Talk next week.